In the intricate chessboard of the Middle East, where geopolitical tensions fuel the fire of an evolving conflict, we are witnessing the turning of a crucial page in Yemen. The United States and the United Kingdom unleash a relentless joint air offensive against Houthi rebels, a determined act aimed at safeguarding vital trade routes in the Red Sea. This episode, more than a mere military response, is revealed as a determined effort to sustain the fabric of world trade. The question that arises, after the Pentagon's confirmation of the success in reaching 8 strategic objectives in the recent attacks, leads us to investigate the roots of this escalation and its relationship with the current Operation Poseidon Archer led by the United States. We embark on a journey to explore the ins and outs of this high-stakes conflict, unraveling the underlying motivations, analyzing the geopolitical implications, and breaking down the meticulous execution of the airstrikes. What connections exist between this offensive and the actions of Operation Poseidon Archer? Join us on a journey that will not only reveal recent events, but also shed light on strategic maneuvering, international alliances, and the urgent call for humanitarian intervention. How will these attacks resonate in the unstable Middle East scenario? Dive with us into the many layers of this evolving narrative. In pursuit of a comprehensive analysis of this critical moment, let us closely examine the details of last night's attacks and subsequent developments. Last night, in the 8th wave of joint attacks, the United States and the United Kingdom directed their fury against Houthi targets in Yemen. The response to previous aggressions by the Iran-backed Houthis was an air assault that hit 8 strategic points, including an underground warehouse, a Houthi missile and surveillance capabilities. The Pentagon's joint statement leaves no doubt additional strikes will continue to be proportionate and necessary. Our goal remains to de-escalate and restore stability in the Red Sea, the statement underlines. But we reiterate our warning to Houthi leaders. We will not hesitate to defend lives and the free flow of trade in one of the most crucial regions in the world. This detailed analysis offers us a more complete vision of an event that is shaping the global geopolitical landscape. In the early hours of Tuesday, Yahya Sarria, military spokesman for the Houthi rebel movement Ansar Allah, shattered Yemen's quiet by revealing that US and British military forces unleashed an aerial fury with 18 strikes on its territory. Detailed information provided by Sarria through the X social network breaks down the intensity of the offensive. 12 attacks hammered the Yemeni capital, Sana'a, 3 devastated the Hodeidah governorate, 2 hit Taiz and 1 resonated in Al-Baida. The root of this storm of war dates back to January 11th, when the United States began Operation Poseidon Archer, a long-range military campaign aimed at significantly weakening the offensive capacity of the Houthis in Yemen. In this unavoidable scenario, the American and British attacks seem to emerge as a storm unprecedented since the beginning of the air and naval bombardments. The recent offensive, marked by the dark cadence of the 8th wave of American attacks, also reveals the second joint operation with the United Kingdom, consolidating an alliance born after a joint attack on January 11th. The shocking attacks, corroborated by a joint statement from the United States and the United Kingdom, backed by Canada, the Netherlands, Bahrain and Australia, targeted 8 critical locations. In the deployment of this offensive, the United States determinedly deployed fighter jets from the aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, as confirmed by a senior defense official in an official statement. In the midst of this war frenzy, President Joe Biden and his British counterpart, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, held crucial conversations at the White House. Security in the Red Sea was at the center of the discussion, underlining the seriousness of the situation. At the dawn of the conflict, 4 Royal Air Force Typhoon FGR-4 aircraft, backed by a pair of Voyager tankers, joined U.S. forces in a lethal choreography against Houthi areas. Precision was key, with Paveway 4 bombs finding their target at multiple strategic points near Sana'a airport. This chapter in the Yemeni drama unfolds with the intrigue of an epic novel, where diplomacy, military strategy and geography are intertwined in a dance of unpredictable consequences. A story that unfolds in several layers, revealing a complex mosaic of interests, alliances and confrontations in the heart of the Middle East. In the shadows of the night, 4 Typhoon aircraft of the British Royal Air Force danced over 2 strategic military sites near the Sana'a Air Base in Yemen. A symphony of meticulously planned bombing raids, designed to silence the threat that the British Ministry of Defence said loomed over shipping in the Red Sea. British Defence Secretary Grant Shapps raised his voice with determination. In self-defense, we have launched another offensive with our American allies. We seek to degrade the capabilities of the Houthis, inflicting a further blow to their arsenals and undermining their ability to disrupt world trade. The British Ministry of Defence, in its post-bombing disclosure, underlines the meticulousness with which the attacks were plotted. Rigorous analysis was applied in planning, with the aim of minimizing the risk of civilian casualties. The darkness of night enveloped the bombings, not only as a strategic tactic, but also as a conscious effort to safeguard innocent lives. Although no victims have yet been reported, the guarantee of civil safeguard permeates every statement. British Foreign Secretary Lord Cameron emerges as the voice of diplomacy amid the din of war. Speaking to reporters, he maintains that Britain has sent a clear message: it will continue to weaken the Houthis' ability to carry out attacks. Anticipating the question of whether these actions will fuel tensions in the Middle East, a calm Lord Cameron points out that it was the Houthis who escalated the situation, and assures that previous attacks have proven effective. In a twist of narrative, the response of the Houthi leader, Mohammed Ali al-Houthi, is revealed, who strongly warns, "Have full confidence that every operation and every attack against our country will not go unanswered." The scene becomes tense, and al-Houthi's words resonate like an ominous echo. In the midst of this conflict, the historical background of the Houthis is revealed, born as a movement to defend the rights of the Zaydi Shiites and the Houthi tribe in the 1990s. Since then, their struggle has been rooted in resistance against American and Israeli influence in the Middle East, with slogans that curse the United States and Israel. A group that has forged alliances with Iran, and has affiliated itself with Islamist organizations such as Hamas and Hezbollah, while maintaining that Saudi Arabia conspires with the United States. This complex background adds layers of depth to a conflict that is woven with geopolitical threads and ancient tensions. The fatality that marked the end of Hussein al-Houthi at the hands of the Yemeni army in 2004 was not only the loss of a leader, but the spark that ignited the Houthi revolt, triggering a civil war that has left indelible scars on the Yemeni land. His brother, Abdul Malik al-Houthi, took the helm of the group and has led the Houthis through a tumultuous journey, participating in the 2011 Yemeni revolution and consolidating their control over vast swaths of territory. The trail of the Houthi revolt, like an unstoppable tide, spread along the western coast of Yemen, to the strategic Bab el-Mandeb Strait, the gateway to the Red Sea. The 2011 revolution became a catalyst for their expansion, allowing them to consolidate their presence and control vast regions. In this complicated power game, the Houthis have woven a network of influence that ranges from local conflicts to regional geopolitical dynamics. The historical backdrop becomes even more relevant when looking at the justification for the current attacks from the Houthi perspective. According to their version, the attacks are intended to put an end to Hamas air and ground reprisals in the Gaza Strip, a sequel to the October 7th attacks. The dropping of terrorists on merchant ships is carried out using a combination of drones, rockets, and, in some cases, helicopters. This conflict, rooted in revenge, the fight for territorial control and regional tensions, becomes a more complex chapter in the history of the Houthis. Their narrative weaves together threads of resistance, loss, and the search for justice, all while controlling vast stretches of the Yemeni coast. In this scenario, each movement and attack are not only acts of war, but also pieces of a puzzle that shapes the destiny of a region mired in uncertainty and conflict.